Hi and welcome to this week's Wu Wei Wisdom Life Lessons teaching. It's great to be back with you all. This week we are focusing on self-care and self-compassion, two things that you may be really neglecting right now. You'll learn why self-care and self-compassion are so very important. What may be the typical excuses you use not to do these things, and how you can begin to integrate self-care and self-compassion into your daily life with ease. Okay, David, so what is self-care exactly and why is it so important?
Well, the word tells you, it's the ability to look after yourself. But actually, many of my clients find this extremely difficult. And to be honest, Alex, this is one of the areas that I've always found difficult because I was always told as I was brought up, like many of my clients, you must put other people in front of you. It's selfish to look after yourself. And this is the internal dilemma that I get with many of my clients. They're always putting others in front of them. They may call it people pleasing. They're more important. I'm not as important. But this goes right back to childhood. And I think it's a really big issue because what you're doing is you're misunderstanding the flow of chi energy through the universe and through you.
And is self-care the same as self-compassion, or is it a slightly different thing?
I think it's a slightly different thing. I think self-care is how you look after yourself, what you eat, how you exercise, taking care of your physical body. To me, when I hear about self-compassion, it's what you think about yourself. Are you compassionate about yourself? Because over time, this thinking that other people, it's selfish to look after yourself, other people are more important. Then you start on the three lies. I'm not good enough. I can't cope. I'm unlovable. I'm unworthy. So they're very connected. But I think if you want to find a slight difference, there is a slight difference there.
And can you give us a little bit more information on this teaching about the flow of love or energy that we need to ensure comes to ourselves first?
And I think this is the life lesson really in the Taoist teaching, that we have to understand that we all have innate value and worth that we call Shen in our teachings. And we've done many teachings on Shen. It's so important. But once you put somebody else more important or in front of you, then what you're doing, you're creating a misbalance, a mismatch. The excuse that you'll give yourself, it's selfish to think about me first. That's normally the excuse. And as I say, that I was told that was absolutely verbally told to me, you must put other people in front of you. And so it's very difficult and challenging, hence why we do these teachings. When you're told that or think that as a child, it goes very deep into the belief system. And to change that process of believing is what we do these teachings on. So the energy of the universe is equal to you or to anyone else. The Taoists actually believe that energy flows through you, coming into you through the Baohu point, it's called, through you and out. So the process is through you and out. Whether you're living the way you do your exercise, even if you're doing something like yoga or meditation or Tai Chi or Qigong, the flow of energy, the flow of Qi is through you and out. Now, if you disrupt that and say, no, I'm going to deflect this onto somebody else, and then they'll give me their energy, this now disrupts the flow of Qi. It's not good for them. Certainly not good for you because you're depriving yourself and you're interfering with this flow of chi energy.
And do you think the deflection, this idea of I'm not going to devote time to myself, I'm not going to look after myself, whether it's physically or what I eat, how I exercise, or how kindly I talk to myself. You mentioned the idea is I'm going to give all my attention, my love to other people, and then hopefully they'll give something back to me. But do you think part of that blocking comes from because we believe we don't deserve it? We don't deserve to love ourselves. We're not good enough. we shouldn't celebrate ourselves. We shouldn't nurture ourselves because we're not worth it.
Yes, it's a bit of both, Alex. The first one you said is absolutely right. So when you get down and do the golden thread and get down to the core beliefs, what the mind is often thinking about, wouldn't it be nice if we lived in a utopian world, a Disney world, where everybody looks after themselves and everything is equal? But that's not the reality of the world we live in. And it's a little bit naive to think that if you care for somebody else, they will equally care back to you. And it gets very confusing. So that's definitely part of it. The second part you said is absolutely right. As I said, once you say that it's selfish to love myself, and then the other things that you said, come on, the 3 lies we call it. I'm not good enough. I can't cope with it. I can't cope with people putting their arm around me and telling me that I'm done really well. It's embarrassing. And I'm unlovable. I'm unworthy. I don't deserve it. And so this over time, this is one of the interesting things for this. You don't suddenly wake up one morning and think this. This is a very subtle, like a dripping tap, that corrupts your belief system. And really the process that we're trying to do is to let you look at your own belief system. As I say on every video, what do you believe? Why do you believe it? The why is the most important thing. That's the golden thread. And when you trace that down, and you said once it was a wonderful example, it's like following the breadcrumbs. Why do I believe that? Where did that come from? Is that true? You follow it down. It nearly always goes to childhood. And in my case, it was a direct teaching. I was told that. And it could be that you've witnessed your parents doing that, or you're brought up in an environment where either you had to put in other people in front of you, or you were told that you had no value, you had no worth, you were worthless, and you was treated that way. But this corrupts your very belief system, and this is why we do these teachings. Look and own your belief system, and then you can change them.
And so would you say, David, that our beliefs and our self-talk and the thoughts, the narrative we have about ourselves all through the day, every day, would you say that this can be the greatest block to self-care and self-compassion? And also being mindful of that self-talk and our beliefs can be the greatest act of self-care and self-compassion if we keep that in check.
Well said, Alex. That's exactly what I would say. That self-talk that goes on in your head, my goodness, it is so important. And I know that the stuff that you talk about inside your head, you won't even tell anybody. And this is what Alex says, my goodness, couldn't be more important. And again, that self-talk and aligning that self-talk with the truth that of your value and your worth and looking after yourself. This is both self-compassionate because you're being truthful and self-worthy, because then you will look after yourself and you'll care for yourself and you'll value yourself, not above other people. This is the key. I am not saying you should value yourself above others, but I'm certainly not saying that you value yourself below others. The teaching is you are a unique human being. There is no one in the universe like you. No one. They broke the mold. That's how awesome you are. How can you be superior or inferior? This is wrong thinking. And this is the self-talk thinking. Yes, other people definitely have skills that you haven't got, but you have skills that they haven't got. Celebrate your skills. Walk your path. The Taoists say, walk in fresh snow. Walk your path. Your path is unique. Don't follow in the footprints of other people. Honor yourself and respect yourself and connect back to yourself. That's self-compassion. That's self-care. The way you look, the way you dress, how you go about dealing with your issues and your problems and your challenges in life. Remember, adversity does not test you. Adversity reveals that inner truth of who you are. And that's what self-care and self-compassion is all about. Valuing yourself equally amongst others.
And so if a client says to you, David, what can I do next week or tomorrow to be to have more self-care, to have more self-compassion, daily life stuff. When I'm living a busy, demanding life with my career or my family, what sort of things would you recommend?
Very easy.
Yeah.
Don't lie. Stop lying to yourself. Doesn't that shock? Stop lying to yourself. When that self-talk, when you say things like, I'm not good enough, that is a lie. Stop it. People don't like when I use that word. Stop it. Oh, David, it's not that easy. It is that easy. Stop lying to yourself. When you say, they are better than me, stop it. They have different skills than you, but they're not better than you. When you say, oh, well, I don't deserve it, stop it. Stop it. It's a lie. And what that lie does, it drags you down like a vortex, pulling you down and down. And what you're actually doing is almost reprogramming your mind. Now, I don't expect you to get this right today, but I do expect that you can start today. And getting things wrong is part of the process, because when you get things wrong, you can go, oh, okay, stop now. Let's go back. Let me speak the truth to myself. Doesn't that seem easy? Before you worry about anybody else, speak the truth to yourself. And then that truth, remember the pathway to Shen, truth, honesty, and integrity. That's the pathway that links you back to Shen, your innate value and worth. No one is more valuable and worthy than you. You are not more valuable and worthy than anyone else. And that inner talk that Alex said is so important. And the issue is that I can't get into that inner talk. That's your responsibility. That's your self-care, self-commitment. That's you believing that you're worthy. That's you trusting yourself. That's you working with that part of the mind that we call the inner child and reparenting that so you become balanced and in harmony and in your flow.
Wonderful. Thank you, David. And we have lots and lots of teachings all about kind of being mindful, observing and managing and really being compassionately self-disciplined with your self-talk. And I will put links to those in the show notes as well. I really hope you've enjoyed this short teaching today. Please do let us know and perhaps share it with someone else who you think may also benefit from it. David works every week with clients all over the world by Zoom video call. And if you'd like to learn more about David's one-to-one consultations, I will put a link in the show notes for those too. And finally, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We produce new teachings every week, and we would love to share your journey with you. Bye-bye.